Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So my name is Beth and I am a seamstress and freelance knitwear designer. I make like knit content here and on Instagram and crochet, sewing, all that good stuff. So if you caught the last vlog, this is pretty much exactly where that one left off. So I'm actually flying out to Denmark tomorrow morning. Well, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. My flight's about 1:30 in the afternoon. But I just wanted to quickly start off the video here, just do like a proper introduction. So I literally have casted on this today. Yeah, obviously if you saw that video, you'd have seen me start this. So this is a new design that I'm working on using Drops Air. I can't remember exactly what colorway this is. I think it's like bubblegum something. I'm pretty sure it's 24, but that might be wrong. This is my first time using this yarn. Sorry, someone is parking outside if you can hear that. Yeah, this is the first time I'm using this and it's really nice, it's really soft. So this is what I'm taking with me on my trip. But I am just currently starting to write up my granny square jacket pattern. So I'm also hopefully going to be working on this a little bit while I'm away. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film when I'm away, but you know, fingers crossed I can show you sort of some of it. It's also just fun for me to like document things that I am doing this year. So yeah, I'll probably check back in either later this evening or tomorrow. I'm flying on my own, so definitely need to keep busy like knitting or pattern writing or something, just so that I'm not like just sat there really bored. But yeah, that's really all that I have to say for now. So since I've literally just taken this off the blocking mats and it is still like a smidge damp, but I think I'm just gonna hair dry it honestly. This is what my this is what my cables cardigan turned out like after blocking. So yeah, obviously I'm in my pajamas, probably not the best way to show you, but this is what she looks like. So I really, when I blocked it, tried to open up the like cable knit details and just sort of have like baggier sleeves and just overall like a baggier fit on the body. So yeah, if you missed the last video, this is 2 strands of Drops Nord. I'm actually really happy with how this has come out. I obviously need to complete weaving in all of my ends. Hopefully I can get to this evening because I would like to take it to Denmark with me. But yeah, where's the sleeve? Here is just what she looks like. She's quite heavy honestly, but yeah, like the button band and that is still ever so slightly damp, so hopefully this will just dry completely overnight and I can take it with me tomorrow. So this whole section is just going to be a voiceover basically. So bear with if I don't remember what the clips are because this was a few weeks ago now, but this was just the like little town that we stayed in Denmark. It was right next to the beach and we went and saw these like big sand sculpture things. They're all of like different animals and they had these like minions hidden throughout. But yeah, it was quite funny. There are so many nice houses just in like random places, like this one up on the hill, and all of the shops just honestly had like the most stunning like home decor bits, which we just saw everywhere. Like their tat shops, like the gift shops, are just such nice quality stuff. But yeah, like they had all these little vases in so many of the shops and like these plastic cups and bowls and stuff just absolutely everywhere. But we went into Spa and they actually sold yarn, so that's just what this is. And then obviously a lot of the clothing shops do sell a lot of knitwear pieces, but I just think some of the stitches that they used and the colours were just so fun, they're so vibrant. Like I feel like, you know, people that watch these videos might appreciate this sort of thing. So yeah, this clip here, obviously I didn't record with sound, but I think I was just showing, this was basically where I finished off the first ball of the Drops Air. So you can see like the start of the back panel, the increases, and then basically like where I've come forward and gonna connect at the front. this little Viking museum that we went to actually sold these little gift sets of yarn with like mitten patterns and stuff. I didn't actually end up buying any, but me and my boyfriend did wander down into the little town here, and this was actually the first yarn shop that I went to on the trip. Also, like, don't mind the fly in this clip because obviously I didn't clock it was there, but they had so much yarn. They had so much Sanisgarn, Filicolana, Isaiah, like all the biggies pretty much. It was just honestly a gold mine. I do kind of wish now that I had bought more in that shop, but that is not to say that I did not buy a lot of yarn on this trip, so maybe it was a bit of a blessing in disguise. I was definitely eyeing up some of that cos, I think, because obviously I was working on the drops air at the time. But yeah, they even had like a lot of knitted garments up in the window, and the only thing that I did buy from this shop was some Filicolana. I don't know why I look so moody in this clip, but I think I was just basically showing that I had connected the front and back panels, and just, yeah, I was like really falling in love with the yarn at this point, really liking how it was knitting up, and basically was just starting on the like main body section. And this was just what the back increases were starting to look like for the European shoulder. So this day that we went out again was just honestly a lot of like looking around the gift shops and stuff. They had these like weird bowls and like all these little vases that I thought were separate, but they were like one whole piece. And these mushroom lamps were like absolutely everywhere. But we also went to this candle shop, which is, they literally just sell candles, and some of them were so nice, but I didn't buy any of these because none of them were scented, and honestly I already have some at home. But yeah, they were super cute. And again, we were just back at it, seeing the knitwear absolutely everywhere. This other shop we went into literally had like the cones of yarn out on display, so you could like see what it was made from. But I definitely am feeling really inspired by some of the things that we saw. And we actually ended up having a beach day. It actually got warm enough to go properly down to the beach. We're like in the sea and everything. And obviously I was just continuing to work a little bit on my jumper. So after getting a little bit of ice cream, this was actually the day that we went into the second yarn shop, which was actually this was the only other yarn shop we went to, but this is where I got the majority of my stuff. This shop was so cute. Again, they had all of the main sort of yarn brands you would expect. They even had sort of like Lang, and they had a lot of hand dyed as well, which was so lovely. But they had all sorts of like notions, buttons, everything, knitted pieces as well. So you can kind of see in this clip like the hand dyed that they had. I think they even had some of their own hand dyed, which I didn't get any, and I didn't get any of the Lang Cloud either, but I am really happy with the pieces that I did pick up anyway, so it's fine. So I guess this is like a little sneak peek of what's to come in the haul, but this lady actually came in clutch with the 2.25s that I needed. Just got some barber cords and like various little bits, obviously the Aran tweed and the pig-in, but yeah, more about that in the next video to come. So at this point I had folded over the collar on the neckline of my jumper, and we actually went fishing quite early one morning. Obviously I was not joining in the actual fishing, but we did get a lot of knitting done. So yeah, you can kind of see I've made more progress on the body at this point. And me and my boyfriend actually went for a bike ride at one point, and he does photography, so he was just taking some photos, which was just kind of nice to get out and about. I feel like there wasn't too much to update on the jumper at this point because it was just literally knitting in the round on the body. But yeah, I think this was sort of towards the end of the trip. This might have even been the last day, just all of the sunlight coming in through the windows. Like obviously all of the rooms were like wooden, and we went down to the bakery, which was really nice, and just yeah, had one like final walk through the town, said goodbye to the yarn shop. So I flew back from Denmark on my own and I was in the airport for like 10 hours. So basically this was just where I started off in the airport knitting, and yeah, this was just basically me waiting to come home. So I am back from Denmark. This kind of feels weird after like a week of not speaking to a camera. But anyway, yeah, I got back like about midnight last night. So today I've just kind of been like taking it easy. Just done like a new set of nails. This is just what they look like. And then I also made another set which I didn't put on, which are using like these little, I don't know if they're real, but like they're these little flowers. They're like, I don't really know how well you can kind of see, but yeah, these were like actually more fiddly than I thought because it didn't really like lay flat. But this is the set that I put on. But anyway, onto the knitting. So obviously I've kind of put clips in here and there of like when I was away, and hopefully I'll have done a voiceover. But this is where I'm at on this jumper if I pull in my ends. So I've pretty much done the body. I just need to finish the rib and then cast off. I basically, what I'm going to do for this is do quite like a short rib at the bottom and at the sleeves, and I kind of want to have like not wide sleeves but not really like shaped sleeves either. So yeah, I was in the airport for like 10 hours or something silly yesterday, just because of like the time that I had to get dropped compared to like at the airport compared to the time of my flight. And I was like, I'm just gonna knit on it, but it got to a point that I couldn't tell whether I needed to keep knitting on the body or not, and it was just sort of difficult to try on, and I was sort of just like a bit done in at that point. So yeah, I think this evening I'm literally just gonna try and cast off this body and just start on one of the sleeves. Also, while I was away, I did take this project, which is just a sock, but I actually didn't do as much on it as I thought, just because basically I'm doing this on DPNs, and I on like the first or second day snapped off the tip of one of the set of DPNs that I bought. I don't even know how I managed it. I think it was just like in my bag, and obviously because they're quite small and they're just wooden, like they're just a little bit fragile. I'm trying to like untangle this yarn. But yeah, the first yarn shop that we went into, they didn't have the right size. They only had a 2 or a 2.5, and these are 2.25s. So I had to wait until the second yarn shop to buy new needles, and then pretty much like whenever I was knitting, I was just knitting on the jumper anyway. So I think I did like a few more rounds, but yeah, this is literally all it's looking like right now. This is using the Summerlee sock book thing. I haven't knit socks before, so yeah, obviously this is just the cuff. I haven't even reached the heel or anything. But yeah, so I did buy quite a lot of yarn in Denmark, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I'm gonna do a separate video on that, and then sort of do like what I want to knit this like autumn winter, because I won't actually get any of the yarn back until Tuesday night. It's Sunday now, because that is coming back with my boyfriend and he's still in Germany. So yeah, this is literally the project I'm going to be working on. But the Drops Air, I must say I'm really liking it. Like obviously I haven't worn this yet, so I don't know how well it's gonna wear, but it's really nice to work with. It's really soft. It just feels so nice on the hands, like when you're actually knitting it. So yeah, so far I would defo recommend. I have actually already ordered more while I was in Denmark, part of my Denmark yarn budget money. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep going on this, and I will sort of update as this, I guess, grows. It's really just the sleeves left at this point, so I don't think it will take me too long. I'm hoping to finish this in the next couple of days, and also do the not the grading so much, but start putting together the written pattern for my granny square cardigan, and like putting out a testicle and stuff. So I'm off work tomorrow and then I'm back to work Tuesday, so I'm hoping to kind of have that done maybe by next weekend. But as always, we'll update as we get there. So I decided to do a Italian cast off for this 1x1 rib, and oh my god, it literally had me in the trenches. This yarn's really nice to knit with, but it's really hard to do like a sewn bind off with. I think because it's just like so fluffy, it just sticks to itself so much, like it really knotted in a lot of places. So this is definitely not my best work, but there is no way that I am unpicking this. I don't even think that I could. I think if I was to redo this, I would literally have to cut the bottom of it off at this point. So yeah, but this is what I meant about just doing like a really small rib. And then I'm gonna do sort of the same on the sleeves, and then just basically like stretch it so that it's the same width as the rest of the jumper when I block it. And then yeah, hopefully you just don't see too much of the rib. I just didn't want it to be a huge feature on this. I don't really know why, but yeah, I think it's looking okay. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the sleeves tonight, to be honest, but I have decided I'm gonna do some planning in my Hobonichi. So I've just got out like all these random stickers and stuff that I have. So yeah, just gonna have a bit of a chill one tonight out. And these are my nails, kind of up close, I guess, but yeah. So a little update. I have basically knit like, I think like around 50 something rows on the sleeve. Obviously I do have like a t-shirt on underneath this, and yeah, I think I showed I casted off the bottom hem last night, which took so long and was actually so stressful. I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about if I did put the last clip in. I'm currently knitting on this sleeve, and I have decided not to do any decreases, so this is just gonna kind of be like a straight, like wide sleeve, I guess. The only thing is, like, I don't even know how to show this very well. Basically, where I did these increases on the back shoulder, the bottom bit sort of like cinches more than the stitches that I picked up, even though it's the same amount. So when I block it, I'm gonna have to kind of try and pull this down, even though obviously that's on the back, so I'm not really gonna be able to see it. But hopefully when I do block it, when I pull down the sleeves, it will kind of pull down the shoulder piece as well, and maybe when I've done the other side it won't be so bad. But I'm slightly concerned that this is going to be too wide, but I'm just going to keep going with it anyway. But yeah, I don't know, I'm happy with how this is looking, and it's really soft and cozy, which is just like really what I wanted to go for anyway. However, I am starting to get hand cramp a bit, so I do need to stop knitting at least for like a couple of hours. So there's really two things today that I like really want to kind of get to, I guess like three. But so firstly, I really want to work more on my my granny square jacket pattern. Before I went on holiday, I've done the charts for all the sizes and I sort of started writing the document, but I just want to start putting it together more and basically doing the size chart so that I can message people back about testing. So that's the main thing. I also at some point, maybe today, we'll see, if not this week at some point, I want to basically make up a granny square and like then deconstruct it to basically try and work out yarn estimations, but that's not like the most urgent thing. But basically, so I travelled back from Denmark on my own, and my boyfriend continued on the holiday, but he has all the luggage, so that I didn't have to pay for it on my flight, which means I don't have like my yarn back or anything yet that I bought. However, there is like a fair bit of yarn coming back. Like I said, I'm going to talk about that in a different video. But for ages, the top of my wardrobe is like boxes of like fabric and like odd bits, and like half my wardrobe and under my bed as well, which I think I actually sorted that out like in a like a couple of vlogs back, so like that's fine. But I would like to kind of sort through some of the other boxes, because when you put things into storage boxes, I just like never remember what's in what and like what I've got. And I'm really bad at, like, if I haven't seen something in a while, I will forget that I have it. I have such like bad like object permanence, but predominantly with like, I guess, craft supplies and materials and stuff. So yeah, I want to kind of go through and just see if there's like anything that I can donate, get rid of, or just generally organize it better. And like, there's on my windowsill, I've got like random candles and just like room decor stuff, because I have a habit of buying like room decor stuff and like no surfaces to put them on. So like this shelf behind me with the lamp on, when I got these shelves built in when I moved back in with like my parents, basically the idea was for this one to be like a bedside table and like not actually a bookshelf, but it's ended up that way because I just had too many books and I have cleared through my books before. So all the room decor bits have just been shoved on the window, and it's kind of bothering me because they just like collect dust and they're just, I don't know, I think they look a bit messy. And of course I bought more tat in Denmark, so yeah, I just sort of want to do like a good sort through. Like, my room's pretty clean, there's a couple bits that need to go away, but like just actually organizing stuff, because I'm back at work from tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be at work all day, then my boyfriend's coming back, dropping the stuff off, and then I'm literally working for the rest of the week, and then sort of just getting back into like life and busy stuff. So I feel like this is sort of a good opportunity to do it. And obviously I want to make some like gifts, like Christmas gifts. I know it's like super early, but you do have to start these things like a couple months in advance. I'm just trying to do it so that I can spread them out amongst like other projects that I am excited to work on. And I also have like some content and stuff that I'm doing for certain things that I won't get into now, but like that needs planning. So yeah, bit of a sort through, make some room somewhere for some of this yarn that I'm getting in. And yeah, so I've ordered some more like dotted notebook, like bullet journaly things, because I would like to keep a track of my yarn stash specifically, because like I said, I just forget that I have things, and then I'm like, oh, I was planning that for that, and sort of get excited about it all over again. So when that turns up today, hopefully, well, that when them notebooks turn up, I want to also do some planning. But yeah, I just want to sort of like have a bit of like a reset day to day, really. And my hands are saying no more knitting, so that is really gonna have to be the goal. So yeah, I'll check back in probably later, or like if I come across anything particularly interesting when I'm sorting things out, I guess I'll like maybe show you that as well. Yeah, this is what I mean with like the top of my wardrobe. I just really hate the way that this looks. Like, I love the wicker and everything, but these are just sort of thrown up here a bit kind of like haphazardly, so I'm just hoping to get some of these into like actual homes. Sorry that the fan's on, I'm like really out in myself here. This whole box is basically scraps or backwaters, or basically samples of fabrics. So much of this was for uni, for my degree, so like I don't know if they ship internationally, but at least if you're in the UK and you're interested in fabric, sewing, anything, this website Minerva, if you order samples from them, you do have to pay, I think it's like 10 to 50p whatever per sample, but they send you essentially, this is not the best one because it's so creased, but they basically send you like a 10 centimeter width of the whole fabric, which is really nice, because if you get something that you think you like the look of, you can make sort of samples with it. Like, you can do like pocket slits, you can interface it. The year's worth of uni and hundreds of samples per project have left me with this horrific amount of just random fabrics. So I don't know what to do with all of these. I'm thinking maybe of making some bags of like scrap fabrics, but Yeah, it is awful. Or like this, we had to work with this mill in second year for our tailoring project, and like this was just like a scrap that I had from the company. Like even like these knitted fabrics that you can just buy. So yeah, I don't know, if you're interested in sewing or anything, Minerva is a good website to just like trial. Like this, I think I used this in a mood board for like a different project. Yeah, they have some like cool stuff, and the fabrics, it ranges in price, but it is quite reasonable, I would say. But yeah, I need to really organize this. I think I'm gonna organize it into like things that I think will look good together rather than fabric types, because realistically the only thing I can do with this is something patchwork. So I think I'm going to separate like the walls, or like just different kind of prints together. Maybe like I've got, for some reason, well I know why, because I used this for a previous project, but like all of this like gingham in just different sized squares. So yeah, this is actually horrendous. And then this is all actual fabric, this is fabric, this suitcase and that drawer. So this is why this was necessary today. It was about the lighting. I have basically been knitting on this sleeve again just this evening, but I can't tell whether I like it or not. Obviously I've left with this with literally no decreases, and I feel like this looks big, right? But then I feel like when I hold up the needles, it doesn't look so bad. So I can't tell if like it's just kind of being weighed down because of the cable that's still in it, or if it's actually gonna sit a bit like tighter. Obviously I want to do like the same rib as what's on the body as the cuff, but because this is sort of like level with the width of the jumper, right, like it's not really gonna actually cinch the sleeve in at all, so I can't really rely on that. Like I feel like this doesn't look as wide on camera as it looks in real life. Like this looks humongous, but then again, is it just because this is weighing it down? I don't know whether to just knit the rest of this and then see and then frog it, instead of like frogging it and then being like, oh, it looked fine. So yeah, I don't know. This is like nearly 100 rows as well, so this is quite a lot of knit, which is why I'm like, oh, do I keep going? I don't know. I probably won't update again today. Hopefully I'll have made a decision by tomorrow. So I appreciate that it was probably quite dark in the last clip, so I've just got home from work, but this is, got so many ends, this is basically where the sleeve is at. This is with the same amount of rib that the body has, so this is just 7 rows. So I wanted to get to here because then I could basically decide to either cast off or frog it. So obviously it's kind of hard to show because I feel like this looks like a bit of a wrist swinger, but you got to see the image, because obviously this sleeve will grow with blocking. So yeah, this is what it looks like with literally no decreases. I feel like this is making me look quite like frumpy as well, because I've got like another oversized t-shirt on underneath. What a surprise. I need to stop trying things on like this. But yeah, I'm honestly like, god, this looks ridiculous. I am honestly tempted to just leave this as wide as it is and then just block the sleeves longer. And the body is pretty long, I would say, at the minute anyway. Like this does sit like literally on my hips, but I do kind of want this to get a bit longer as well. But I really love like this neckline that I did. It is nothing fancy. It is literally 1x1 rib folded over, and then you cast off as you like connect with the bottom. But I just think it looks nice, and yeah, this is sort of what the shoulder looks like at the back. So as I said, I'm also just hoping to kind of block this point down a bit, which will give the sleeve length anyway without it even growing. But I'm gonna ask the fam because I don't know whether to continue with this sleeve tonight or to frog this one. So dilemmas. But also, like, I really love this nail set that I did. I don't know why. I think I like using like less, like, okay, I say less colours, this is still 4 colours, but I think like having a more like limited colour palette just makes me get more like more interesting nails. It doesn't feel too like overdone. So like there's like 2 of each nail, right? So there's like 2 of the stripes, and then 2 are like these little spiky things, and then 2 stars, 2, oh god, how do I do this, 2 of the blooming gels. This one was questionable, but it was already a second attempt. And then, oh yeah, 2 of these little dotty things. I think these ones kind of look like olives, but anyway, it's too hot. This needs to come off. I'll share what I decide to do. It's Wednesday. I've just got back from work, eating dinner, whatever. But I've been working on this sock on my lunch break, and I posted on my Instagram story. So this is going to be like a heel flap and gusset sock, and I haven't knit socks before. I'm using the Summer Lee sock book, but basically I couldn't figure out why my heel flap was looking wrong. So like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to really show you. So like, this is where the heel flap is, and basically people messaged me on my Instagram story and I've realised what I was doing wrong. So you have to slip knit everything on the first row, and then I was doing slip pearl every stitch, like alternating on the back, but you only slip the first and then you pearl every stitch after, is what I've been told. So I do need to frog back this really tiny amount. But also, so I was knitting all of my small circumference things like gloves on DPNs, and so these are done on 2.25 millimeter needles, and I had 2.25 wooden DPNs, and I've changed, oh god, I've changed to metal circulars. I'm using magic loop, and oh my god, it is a game changer because I'm not terrified I'm gonna snap the needle like literally every 5 seconds. So yeah, I love the color of these. I just, yeah, I need to sort this out. And like where these ladders are was where the like DPNs were before, so like this was stitches, and then, you know, so I'm hoping that that will kind of block out a little bit. But this evening I basically want to knit as much as I possibly can on the second sleeve of this. So I've done the sleeve, I decided to keep it wide, and then I did Italian cast off again on the cuff, same as the body. It was tragic again, but it wasn't as bad because obviously it's not, the problem with the bottom hem is that obviously it's really long, so like you have to cut a really long length of yarn, so it just tangles so easily, and especially like with the drops air, it just sticks to itself so bad. So the cuffs weren't too you know, treacherous, but I'm hoping, obviously when I block it I'm going to stretch these down anyway, but I'm not going to stretch them in width at all. But I'm kind of hoping that like as I stretch the length they kind of like get a bit slimmer, because I don't want to rip it back. But I have bought more drops air as part of my Denmark yarn, so I don't know if this video is going to be up first or the other one, but you'll see that at some point. So my thought process is leave this one wide, and then the other jumper will do like a normal decreased sleeve. So yes, I want to power through. I feel like this shouldn't take me too long. I feel like I can knit stockinette sleeves like relatively quickly. The only thing is obviously because there is no decreases, like it's not going to get quicker the further you get down. But yeah, I'm just going to get going with that, and yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, I'm thinking like maybe we can aim to finish it tonight, but I honestly, I'm not gonna like stress if it's not. As always, you're gonna have to excuse the lighting. It started getting dark, like not early now, but definitely like earlier. But I have just casted off the second sleeve on my Drops Air jumper. So it's Thursday. I didn't finish it last night. That was definitely too ambitious for an evening after work. But yeah, this is what she is looking like. The sleeves look comically short. I'm a smidge concerned. I'm not going to try it on right now because I need to stop trying on things over like my pajama tops, basically like these big t-shirts, because I would not wear it with this underneath. Like these sleeves are too big to be going under jumper sleeves, but hopefully I'll be able to kind of put this on tomorrow and get a better shot, like hopefully when it's like not like dark as well. But yeah, I am maybe worried about the sleeve length. This is like over 100 rows on this sleeve, and when I did my swatch for this, when I blocked it, I found it was a lot easier to stretch it lengthwise rather than widthwise. So I feel like hopefully when this is wet it won't be too much of a problem to really stretch this if possible. It's definitely like wrist swinging on me currently, but I'm just so glad this is finished. Like it is so soft and I actually like love the color of this. I'm so glad that I didn't change my mind. And also this is pretty much exactly 7 balls of yarn. So I bought 9, right? I have 2 whole balls left over and then like the tiniest little bit of the last one that I was using, like the 7th one. So yeah, that's the front, and then this is the shoulder. So yeah, obviously as I've said multiple times, I want to kind of try and stretch this out a little bit as well. But yeah, obviously I'm gonna block this weekend, so I will show properly at that point. Also, can't remember if I did a clip of this or not. So I casted on my very first vanilla sock, and yesterday at work I was doing the heel flap, and for the life of me like could not figure out what was wrong with it. But I've been re-knitting it today correctly. God, this really isn't going to focus in this light. You can definitely see like these stitches are like standing out where they should. So yeah, this is going much better than the first attempt, but I'm pretty tired. It is my bedtime, so yeah, I'll update on that jumper like either tomorrow or at the weekend. And then we also get to do some gauge swatches for my next project. So I'm making my boyfriend a jumper for Christmas, so we need to swatch for him, and then also decide what we're casting on for me. So yeah, that's exciting. I also really need to work on my granny square jacket. Take a shot every time I say that in a video because this is ridiculous now. I have pretty much done all the charts. I need to start writing the pattern. I need to get back to testers. I think like because I haven't released a pattern in like 4 years, maybe 3 and a bit, I can't remember. I feel like it's just that I don't know like how to describe it. Like I guess I'm just a bit like nervous about going through the whole process again, and because like I've had a lot of time to reflect on those patterns, they're not to the standard that I would want to release now or to the size range. I feel like I'm really conscious now about it. And also like when you see people on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, talking about patterns that they're making and like slating like designers and stuff, or like, you know, talking about size ranges and how things are graded and if things are graded proportionally for real bodies. And obviously that's something that was really like emphasized on my degree. Like obviously a lot of things are made in a smaller medium and then they're just graded bigger and smaller, and they're not necessarily massively inclusive of what actual body types look at, like the bigger and smaller end. So yeah, I feel like all these things are just like eating away at me a little bit. I feel like it's kind of making me put it off, even though like this is like my main goal for the rest of the year, is like I want this pattern done, because I feel like once you take the leap with the first one right, like the rest of it just kind of flows a lot easier. I feel like I'll get a lot more confident. So yeah, I just really need to like pull my finger out and like stop knitting for 5 minutes to actually put this document together, because I've done all of the like faffy bits. Like I've literally done all of the construction charts for every size. I've also decided that I'm gonna do it like lettered, so like size A, B, blah blah blah, so that essentially you can pick like the size on how much positive ease you want, because it's very oversized on me, like the size that I made, and that is the intention. But obviously because it's made of granny squares, the grading is like, it's kind of limited on what you can do, right? Because you can't put in like clever stitches here and there. It is made of squares, like that, you are limited to what you can do with it. So yeah, I think just doing it lettered and just being like, make it to however big or small you want it on your body, and then hopefully yeah, it just gives people like a little bit more option. I think currently I've charted like from size A to size K, maybe a little bit more. There are like, I think maybe like at least 10 different sizes. I can't exactly remember now off the top of my head, but anyway, this is like massive tangent. But yeah, I'm debating potentially doing a size or even two smaller than what my sample was, because I don't know, obviously it's meant to be massively oversized, but then I feel like people that are like particularly like petite or small, it might like be a bit too big, but then I feel like that is the look. So I don't know, these are all of the thoughts that are giving me like decision fatigue with that one. But I think I'm rambling because I'm tired. So yeah, we'll catch up with you probably over the weekend. And yeah, I want to block this jumper, and I also need to film my August podcast, so obviously that will be featured. I think that video would have gone up before this, but just know this was filmed before. So yeah, this is what the jumper looks like. I don't even know if you'll be able to see, but this is what I mean by the sleeves kind of look like a little bit wrist swingers, but I'm hoping that that will just block out. I mean, if needs be, I do have like a whole another 2 like balls of this, so I can just add length. But I feel like I normally knit sleeves to this length. I think it's because they're so wide. Like obviously if this was more of an actual shaped sleeve, I don't think it would look so short. But yeah, I really like the collar on this. It's just like a really simple folded over like 1 by 1 rib, and then it's just like casted off on the inside. And this is what the like shoulder seam kind of looks like. I don't know, it's sort of difficult to show a little bit, but yeah, when I block this, I'm not gonna really stretch the body at all. It might just grow naturally, but this is pretty oversized on the body as is. It's just, yeah, primarily the sleeves, to be honest. I also want to make sure that I'm not stretching this neckline, because I'm worried it's gonna like kind of come down, but I mean I can just put an elastic in if that happens. So yeah, I do want to block this weekend. Okay, this looks ridiculous with me holding my arm up. Maybe these are a bit short. Only blocking will tell. We are back to looking a little bit rough as per, but I've just been doing some gauge swatching. So my boyfriend for Christmas wants a jumper, and he picked out a yarn when we were in Denmark. It's the Lottaloopy or Lottaloopy, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I think it's like Icelandic yarn. It is like a smidge scratchy, but he felt it and wanted to go ahead. So I've just been doing a gauge swatch, and basically we want to go for like a ribbed raglan jumper, basically like sort of typical of what you would see probably in the shops knitwear wise for men. So this is how the swatch is looking, but yeah, you can definitely see that. I feel like it's really gappy. This is the recommended needle size. This is the size 5mm, but I was looking at the comments on Ravelry, and basically it said that this yarn really blooms when you block it. So I'm gonna block this swatch. I'm seeing him tomorrow anyway, so hopefully by then it'll have dried like a smidge, and then sort of assess, because I did also do a little test in a 4.5, and that like literally didn't look any different. It still looked gappy, and honestly I really don't want to knit this in a 4. I feel like that would just take forever, because obviously this is like a men's jumper and he is quite a bit bigger than me, so obviously like yeah, that would just take a really long time. But it's just obviously this navy colour. It does like, it looks nice, like I really like the colour, but yeah, it is just, thing is, against like on your body it doesn't look too bad. So yeah, just fingers crossed that this is gonna block out nicely. I've also been swatching for the next project for me. So I want to make this design that I've had in my head, like literally living rent free. This is the Drops alpaca. I think this is like in the dark pink. Sorry I'm filming this at night because these colours are like not going to be accurate whatsoever. But yeah, I'm holding this double as per. So basically, okay, right, so this is a 4mm. This was my attempt at half twisted rib, and then this is just 4.5 and then 1x1 rib. So basically I'm also having predicaments here because I really love how tight the 4 is, but I feel like visually it doesn't look too much different to the 4.5. It's just that this is like a bit stretchier. I don't even think you can, okay, maybe if I do it here. So like yeah, the 4 is like obviously tighter because it's a smaller needle size. Don't need an explanation there. But yeah, I'm just conflicted because obviously this will be a lot quicker to knit if I do it in the 4.5, but also I do really want to love this. Like I'm really excited about this design in particular, so I'm like really torn. This yarn on its own held single is like recommended needle size 3. So like I first swatched with a 5 and I just thought like too gappy. Then I went to like the 4.5 and I was like, oh, I don't know. Tried the 4 and was like, okay, I love the 4, but I'd like frogged the 4.5, so that's why I redid the 4.5 just to see like next to each other in comparison. Yeah, I would say literally the main difference is just sort of the stretch of it. Basically it's predominantly a stockinette piece, but it's more I guess like the silhouette that I'm excited about. But I don't want to like get too much into it because I just think it will be fun like to go along with the process. So yeah, conflicted on needle size for this as well, which is lush. I also forgot to update when I showed you my jumper earlier. I have made progress on my sock at work. So I basically was working this on my lunch break, and then I finished all the work. There was like literally nothing left for me to do, so I just did a little bit more on this as well. So yeah, like I think I showed, I figured out how to do the heel flap properly. So this is how it's looking, and then I've just done this little bit at the bottom, which is basically just worked by doing like short rows sort of back and forth, and you get like a stitch longer like either side, and you just keep going. And then yeah, so essentially like obviously this is where your heel sits in this bit. If you've knit socks before, you're probably thinking I don't need an explanation, but I haven't knit socks before I've knit this pair. So yeah, I think this is really fun. And then the next step for me is going to be to do the gusset and then reconnect through the whole sock and then knit down to the toe. Don't mind, I've not got a nail on my thumb, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this actually. It's quite a nice little thing to just have, like, say at work, if like there's like lulls in work, or if like on my lunch breaks or just like going out and about, if I'm ever waiting around, it's nice to just have like a little project on the go. It's just like literally one ball of yarn. I don't know if I've said in this video as well, this is the opal sock yarn. I also, so this is following the Summerlee sock project, and this is the like very first basic sock, right, the heel flap and gusset. And I had this ball and I was like, oh, I don't want to make the like essentially like the ankle bit too long in case I run out of yarn for the second sock. So I did what she did, which is 8 centimeters. I don't think that that's gonna spoil it too much, to be honest. But yeah, so I did the 8 centimeters, and I definitely could have gone longer, seeing how much yarn I still have left. But to be honest, like I literally only pretty much wear like ankle socks anyway, or like the ones that are like a little bit longer. I don't even know what like the term for that length of sock is, but so yeah, I'm not too fussed that these aren't that long anyway. But yeah, I really love the colour of these. It's such a vibrant red, but I feel like, okay, this is getting really specific now, I feel like it doesn't have orange undertones. I feel like it's more of like a pink undertone. Maybe that's like a little bit niche, but it's only because when I dye my hair, depending on what box dye I get, it fades to orange or it fades to a light pink. And now I feel like I'm really that's like my weird niche thing now that I pick up on in reds, is like what is the undertone in that? So yeah, no, these are really nice. That is an awful tangent, but yeah, I basically am at a standstill now with both of these projects that I wanted to cast on. However, I do need to clean up my room and stuff. It's Friday evening, I think it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, so like, you know, it's not like I've got the whole day ahead of me, but just so conflicted about the thing for me, because like this I can just wait until I see him, we can figure that out. But this one, I feel like I know that I want to go for the 4s. It's just like I don't really want to knit a whole piece in 4mm, and because as well a big portion of this is gonna have to be knit flat, like there is no way around that. So it's like, do I really want to knit flat on 4mm for essentially almost the whole front and back piece, because of the design that I want to do? And then if I have to go down for this, which it is looking likely, if I have to go down to a 4 for this, then do I really want to have 2 jumper projects on the go in 4mm, and one of them is a men's, and essentially it's going to be a men's large, like because my boyfriend has quite like broad shoulders, and obviously this is going to be a raglan, so like the yoke's going to be huge. Yeah, I don't know, I'm having issues. I just wish that I had like, I don't know, someone in person that would understand my struggle. But this video I think is going up maybe 2 weeks after I'm saying this, so this these issues will probably have been resolved at that point. But saying that, I do post a lot of my issues on my Instagram story, so if you ever want to see like up to date, like on the day stuff, yeah, Instagram, because I had a couple of absolute angels reach out to me and tell me what I was doing wrong on my sock, and it has saved me hours of pain. So yeah, selfless little, what's the word, self promo, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I will catch up with you at some point. This is the aftermath of filming my August podcast. Can't wait to clear all of this up. So it's currently Sunday. It's like it's 1 o'clock. So I feel like yesterday afternoon and this morning were like low-key a bit of a write-off because I have very bad cramps currently. But I bought these jeans when I was in Denmark and I literally loved them, but I need to take them up. So I've just used a friction pen to mark out basically where I need to trim them to, but I think I'm going to take these with me to work tomorrow because honestly I know that I have matching thread there and I can't be bothered to sift through all of mine. But I also frogged and have started re-knitting the neckline of this new jumper that I'm making for myself. I feel like this still looks a bit small, but obviously when I go up, so this is in 3mm needle currently, when I go up to the 4 for the body, I feel like this will sort of naturally stretch out a bit. Plus alpaca does grow when you wash it, so I'm not too worried. I think I'm gonna go on the rib for this for a bit longer because I do want quite like, not so much a high neck, but I do want this to sort of come down relatively wide-ish. So yeah, obviously this is what I have been working on. I need to do some work on my iPad, but I'm waiting for my my August podcast to upload, so it's got about 20 minutes left before I can use that. But I kind of want to start documenting like all of my yarn stash and like exactly what like jumper quantities and like what plans I have for certain yarns, because honestly if I don't see it I forget it. I feel like I've said this before, like I have really bad object permanence with my stash. Like everything that's on the top of boxes or like the top of drawers or that I am like really specifically excited for or have bought recently, it's like fresh in my mind, but everything else just honestly I forget, and then I end up buying more. And I know that I have a lot of stuff here, so I think I'm going to start putting together the beginnings of my stash list. But yeah, once my iPad has finished uploading this video, I am going to be working on my jacket pattern. I have to. I'm sat at my desk. It is a really rainy, miserable day and I can just see all the rain coming down the windows, and I just need to put away the knits and actually sit and write this pattern. So yeah, hopefully we can make good progress. Like I think I've said, I've pretty much done all the charts. Like there is nothing stopping me from putting this together. The main thing that I need to do that I've been putting off is I want to crochet a granny square and then like deconstruct it to get the yarn estimations, and then yeah, basically, do you know what it is? It's just like decision paralysis, like deciding if I'm gonna make like smaller sizes or not, and just, you know, I just need to sit here and do it. I'm gonna like set a timer and then just see, like say like an hour or two, and just see if I can get it done. So yeah, I'll hopefully like update that later today, and fingers crossed would have been a little bit productive. If I have the time as well, I also want to start making these pillowcases that I'm gonna do as like a Christmas gift. I know it's super early, but I'm trying to be preemptive this year so that I don't suddenly have like a million things I need to make in December for other people. But the pattern needs to come first, so I need to not start that and get stuck on that for a couple of hours and then be like, oh, I'm not gonna do the pattern. I need to do the pattern. It's now Sunday evening, so it's later in the day than the last clip, but just before I sign off the video, I just wanted to quickly show where I am with this project. So it's sort of a little bit difficult because I'm currently in the middle of my German short rows, so it's in a bit of a precarious place, but I have done all of my neckline rib. This is not gonna be like this far up, bear in mind. I feel like it will show more as I actually knit more of the body, but I've just started doing the stockinette for the body, and these are just where my increase points are going to be. So I think I said the top of this is essentially going to be a raglan, and then yeah, the bottom bit's going to be different. So obviously if you want to see how this ends up, then defo subscribe to see the next vlog. I actually did have a pretty productive afternoon. I did sit and do my pattern. I have basically completely finished all my charts, and I've started putting the document together, so touch wood, we are on the right lines. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, as always, if you made it to the end, like, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.